Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya or Sviatlana Georgievna Tikhanovskaya, born the 11th of September 1982, is a Belarusian human rights activist and politician who ran for the 2020 Belarusian presidential election as the main opposition candidate. She is married to activist Sergei Tikhanovsky, who was a candidate for the same election until his arrest on the 29th of May 2020. She subsequently announced her intention to run in his place. The incumbent Alexander Lukashenko was officially declared the victor in a contest marred by allegations of widespread electoral fraud. Subsequently, Tsikhanouskaya claimed to have received between 60 and 70% of the vote and has appealed to Western countries to recognize her as the winner, although they instead called for a rerun and no longer recognize Lukashenko as president. Before running for president, Tsikhanouskaya was an English teacher and interpreter. She spent many summers in Roskria, Tipperary, Ireland, as part of a program for children affected by the Chernobyl disaster. She is married to YouTuber, blogger, and activist Sergei Tikhanovsky, who was arrested in May 2020. The couple has a son and a daughter. After her husband's arrest on the 29th of May, Tsikhanouskaya announced her intention to run in his place. She registered as an independent candidate on the 14th of July 2020. After registering, she was endorsed by the campaigns of Valery Sepkalo and Viktor Barbarica, two prominent opposition politicians who were barred from registering, with one being arrested and the other fleeing the country. A photo of Tsikhanouskaya with Maria Kolesnikova, Barbarica's campaign chief, and Veronika Sepkalo, Valery Sepkalo's wife, has become a symbol of her campaign. The night before the election, police detained senior staffers from Tsikhanouskaya's campaign and she chose to go into hiding in Minsk, before re-emerging on election day at a polling station. Before the presidential campaign, Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko insisted the country was not ready for a female president. Her campaign began as Amnesty International condemned Belarus's discriminatory treatment of women. Opposition activists, including threats of sexual violence and threats by authorities to take children away from opposition figures and send them to state-run orphanages. In response to the threats, Tsikhanouskaya sent her children abroad to live with their grandmother. She has said she has repeatedly been threatened, recounting a phone call saying, "We will put you behind bars and place your children in an orphanage." Tsikhanouskaya said she, nevertheless, decided to persevere in her campaign. There must be a symbol of freedom. Tsikhanouskaya said that she ran for president out of love, to free her husband from prison. She has vowed to free all political prisoners in Belarus, to introduce democratic reforms to the country, and to move away from the Union Treaty with Russia, which many Belarusian opposition figures view as an infringement on the country's sovereignty. She has also pledged to set a referendum on returning to the original draft of the 1994 Belarusian constitution, reinstating a limit of 2 terms for the president. She has said that her main goal is to establish free and fair elections. She views the current election as illegitimate due to the government's refusal to register Lukashenko's main political opponents as candidates. She has pledged to deliver a plan for transparent and accountable elections within 6 months of taking office. Tsikhanouskaya's economic platform emphasizes increasing the importance of small and medium-sized businesses in the Belarusian economy. She plans to offer interest-free loans to small and medium-sized businesses, cancel state inspections of private entities and provide legal protection for foreign investors. Tsikhanouskaya intends to allow profitable state-owned enterprises to continue to operate, while requiring unprofitable state-owned enterprises to get help from outside professionals. Though running as an independent, Tsikhanouskaya has attracted support from across the spectrum of Belarus's political opposition. Vital Rymasiewski, co-leader of Belarusian Christian Democracy, announced his party's support, as did the Belarusian Social Democratic Party, United Civic Party of Belarus and Belarusian Women's Party, Nadzija. She has also received support from 2010 presidential candidate Mykola Statkevich. Awaka Survia, President of the Rada of the Belarusian People's Republic, expressed her support for Tsikhanouskaya. Rallies in support of Tsikhanouskaya and in opposition to Lukashenko have been the largest in the history of post-Soviet Belarus, attracting crowds of 20,000 in Brest and 60,000 in Minsk. The official results published by the Central Election Commission of Belarus gave Tsikhanouskaya 588,622 votes, or 10.12% of the vote, to Lukashenko's 80.10%. However, allegations of widespread fraud were immediately made public, including a formal complaint to The Sun.